Hi, I'm Tom Neiman. This is Inside the Summit League. Highlights of the week coming up in volleyball and soccer, all the scores and the standings down at the bottom of the screen. And coming up, we will take a peek at the cross-country championships that run this weekend in Fargo. North Dakota State's women looking to defend their team title again, while the South Dakota State men are the defending champions there. We will spend a minute with the Mavs in Omaha, a preview of the women's basketball team with head coach Brittany Lang. And the plays of the month for October, including a couple of stupendous saves by Tina Vargas in Denver. But it is Halloween week, and we start with the Summit on the Street. These are interviews done by Summit League athletes with other Summit League athletes from around the league, and some questions like what's your favorite all-time costume and some favorite trick-or-treat memories.
What's up? It's Cam Griffin. I'm here with Brian Rucker, and I just have a couple questions for you. First of all, what is your best Halloween costume that you've ever worn?
I'll have to say I dressed up as Popeye one year. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh, Popeye. How old were you, by the way?
I don't remember.
You must have been a youngin', huh? Okay, I see.
I dressed up like a bum.
Probably, this year, the team and us were dressing up as Harry Potter characters, so that's probably my favorite.
Well, this year, as you've heard, we're being Harry Potter. I'm Hermione.
Oh man, my best Halloween costume I've ever worn, probably when I was a chicken my senior year of high school.
I was an apple when I was like 5. My mom made it. It was pretty great.
I was strawberry shortcake once.
I guess being a vampire. That'd be cool. My favorite Halloween costume of all time was I was Pikachu in the 3rd grade.
My favorite Halloween costume of all time would probably be Freddy.
What is your favorite trick-or-treat memory as a kid?
My favorite trick-or-treat memory would be going to a house and they didn't want people ringing the doorbell, so they'd leave a bowl out. And I was one of those mean little kids who would just take the whole bowl and dump it all in my candy sack and just go into the next house, and got so much candy like that. And I was such a mean little kid, but I enjoyed that a lot.
The whole bowl.
I mean, I'd probably leave like one, but yeah, pretty much.
It was snowing outside and we ran through the snow.
Favorite trick-or-treating memory was when I was probably 10 years old. My friends and I went and did every single house in my whole block, and our bag was so full of candy that it ripped halfway home.
Well, October is almost gone. There were lots of great highlights in the past 4 weeks. Our producer, Chad Hunt, has put them all together in the top 10 Summit League plays of the month.
Looking for Moulton. Into the 18, takes a shot with his left. Oh. It goes in! What a wonder goal from Mark Moulton! Oh my God. Unreal. chipped in. And a shot to the outside! Sam Harder finds the back of the net and the Pioneers win it. Dribbles towards goal a bit. Steps around a couple defenders. Johnson will take a shot. And it goes in! Stamatakis made a mess out of that one. But Johnson was able to put it on frame. She scores her first goal for the Mavericks.
Coming up next, off to Omaha and a look at what the Mavericks women's basketball team has in store this year under new head coach Brittany Lang.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health and your Heartland Chevy dealers.
Welcome back. Starting on Thursday this week, check out the Summit League website for reports on all 18 basketball programs in the league. The preview series is called 18 in 9, and it runs through November 11th. Well, in Omaha, Brittany Lang was the interim head coach in women's basketball last year. She is now the official head coach this year, and she and the Mavericks talked about their season prospects earlier this week.
This is our first full year as a staff going into a season together. We have an injection of 7 new players, 3 of them sitting out last year due to injuries and transfers, and 3 new freshmen. So we're teaching everybody a lot of things for the first time, but I really like the vibe and the positivity that we've had. Been a lot of competition within practice just to start in these first couple weeks. Very pleased with the experience that we have in our front court with the 2 sitting next to me, Michaela and Taji, as well as Sammy Pollock and Victoria Trowbridge, and I really feel that that's going to be kind of the core for us this year, and we've surrounded it with a lot more perimeter shooting. So the pieces are there to work with, a lot of eagerness to learn. It's just going to take some time for everybody to get accustomed to each other. They want to set the tone from the beginning. They understand that they are underdogs, and a lot of people in our league have not seen half of our roster play, but I think they take that to their advantage rather than looking at it as a negative. So I feel that they have a big sense of urgency. They understand what they're all working towards, and hopefully we can produce that on the floor.
Last year I went in kind of blind, not sure what to expect, but I took advantage of it. Like she said, I got a lot of playing time. Almost everyone in my class did, and just learned from the experience. And I'm excited for this year going in. This preseason, we still worked really hard, so I have 1 season and 1 preseason under my belt to build on. And
well, over the years, I've always been a defensive player, so offensively, I feel like I've just learned more things, like how to be more patient, or when to actually score and when not to score. So I just think it's just patience and just knowing what to do now. Because as a freshman, I really was I've only played 2 years probably, actually playing in high school. So when I got here, it was really different to know that I'm actually the post player. So I have to really be a post player for once. So it was just hard, but since freshman year, it's been completely different. I could just tell that I've become more versatile than I was before. I'm not just that defensive player, the shot blocker. I can actually score and do other things on the court.
Well, Omaha has an exhibition game coming up on November 6th at home against Rockhurst of Kansas City. Well, the Summit League Cross Country Championships run this weekend at Rose Creek Golf Course in Fargo. 2 of the women to watch will be Amber Eichhorn of South Dakota and Erin Teschuk of North Dakota State. They went stride for stride in the Bison Open in Fargo on that same course earlier this fall. Teschuk won that event. She has the fastest 5K time in the league this season. Eichhorn has the fastest 6K time, and the North Dakota State women have won the last 3 Summit League championships. The South Dakota State men have won the last 2. Jackrabbit senior Trent Lusignan is the defending individual champion, but he is being held out and not competing this fall as part of the SDSU long-term strategy.
Trying to set ourselves up for a big year next year, not only just in terms of the Summit League, but trying to advance maybe one guy, maybe 2 guys in the NCAA championships, and trying to position ourselves maybe as a top 50 team in the country. And that might be a stretch, but we want to set the bar kind of high. Ultimately, for our team, winning the Summit League is going to be, our top goal. And the kind of the more the frosting on the cake is getting people to the NCAAs at this point. Certainly gives your program a lot more credibility and a much larger profile. But our role, as a team and within this athletic department is trying to do as well as we possibly can within the Summit League. And, consistently that's on the men's side. We want to be a conference championship caliber team, and, historically we've had 34 conference championship teams here in men's cross country and want to keep that going.
Well, cross country will be the first of 13 league championships conducted over the next 6 months, and Summit League Senior Associate Commissioner Mindy K. Larson hopes that you enjoy all of them because she puts in a lot of time to make sure that they are big-time events.
We've definitely the last few years really been focused on atmosphere, and we've been trying to upgrade our signage, upgrade our participation gifts, and really make it feel like even though some of our campuses are hosting these events, that when student athletes walk in, they feel like this is not a regular season event, this is an elevated event. We're having a banquet, we're celebrating our success, and really make it feel like special for them and something unique. And our schools have done an outstanding job. They've embraced our changes and they've been really willing to step to the plate and do more, and so that's impressive. In our team sports, if you're a previous year's regular season champion, so for instance, if we look at baseball, South Dakota State won the regular season baseball last year, so they have the first opportunity to accept the championship for this year. And the reason that we do that is it gives schools a year to prepare so that they really can focus on those details, and it's not a last second you find out you're hosting and everybody's rushing to get to you. You have a year to really put on and showcase your campus and really do something nice for the student athletes. What we used to do in the past is we were kind of on a rotation, so within your 4 years you would get something different, a bag, a blanket, a sweatshirt, just something to say we made it to the tournament. But what we do now is we send a list out to our student athletes and we let them choose. So they get to choose what their gift is. So if you want 4 years of hoodie sweatshirts, you can have 4 years of hoodie sweatshirts, or you can and mix it up. And our students have really liked that because they get to personalize it and they can pick it in Summit League colors, they can choose it in their school colors, and they can choose the championship logo. So they get to kind of customize their gift. So I think it's been really fun for them.
When we come back on Inside the Summit League, a follow-up to a story last week, some thoughts from the athletic director at Oral Roberts on the possibility of a pay-for-play future in college athletics, and some spectacular highlights in men's soccer courtesy of Mark Moulton and the Mavs in Omaha.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health and your Heartland Chevy dealers.
Welcome back. Well, last week we heard from Summit League Commissioner Tom Duple on the changes in governance in the NCAA going on right now and the real possibility in the near future of some kind of pay-for-play system where schools could give student athletes money in addition to their athletic scholarships. Now, this is being driven by pending rules that have been written by the Big Five or the Power Five conferences. Here are some thoughts from one Summit League administrator about the whole situation. Mike Carter has been an athletic director at Oral Roberts for 20 years, and he says that the influence of money and the power that the Big Five now hold is one of the biggest developments in college athletics that he has seen in the last 2 decades.
That's a big change. The really unknown change is what happens in all the litigation with the O'Bannon case and the other cases that are out there, because if college athletics gets to the point that we pay student athletes, then we're no longer amateur sports, and I think there are a lot of universities that just won't be able to meet all those financial requirements.
Well, that is the scenario that some schools will have to deal with if the NCAA approves legislation allowing schools to pay to play. And that approval will most likely happen in January at the NCAA convention. At that point, Summit League schools will have to decide whether or not to participate in the pay-for-play system. On a lighter and brighter note, though, at Oral Roberts, Carter says that his school is delighted to be back in the Summit League. This is ORU's second time around. They first joined the league in 1997.
We're very thankful for the old Mid-Continent Conference, now the Summit League, that provided us a home and the opportunity to compete for championships, and that was huge. Being able to get in a conference and then compete and develop rivalries and develop friendships, that's been big, and we're really excited about coming back to the Summit League.
And as the Golden Eagle programs get back into the Summit League swing, Carter is looking forward to an athletic revival.
I would just hope that we continue to get better. We went through some tough financial times over the last 4 years, and I think our programs have taken a dip. So what I want to see is our programs get back to the level where we were 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, where we were very, very competitive and winning conference championships, competing in NCAA tournaments. I'm ready for us to get back on that roll, and I think we're headed in the right direction.
Well, that would mean a return to the top in men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball, women's soccer, all of those sports that Oral Roberts has been so good at over the years. A little men's soccer before we get to the break, and Denver at Omaha on Saturday. No score in the 37th minute. Omaha on a free kick taken by Mark Moulton. It gets headed by Vance Rockwood and then again by Nick Miller, and that one breaks the plane of the goal line. It's 1-0 Mavericks. So Miller gets the goal, Moulton gets the assist, and he was just getting going in the match. 2 minutes later, Moulton sets it up again to Xavier Gomez, to Jordan Geely for the goal. That's just good soccer. It's 2-0 Omaha. And then right at the end of the half, look at this sequence in front of the Omaha net. Off the bar, gets saved, gets headed out, and then he gets saved again by Joe Giddis, and it's 2-0 Mavericks at the half. That was crazy. This was even crazier early in the second half. Moulton out by himself, and the chip, and it goes in somehow, and Moulton with a goal and 2 assists in the match for Omaha. The Mavs up 3-0 at that point. Denver gets a late goal from Reed Hikari, but Moulton and the Mavericks get the win, and he was the man in this one.
If I can get in that pocket of space back there to the right of the center back, you know, I can beat him in a foot race. And so me and Nick made eye contact. Nick saw me make the run. The ball came over my shoulder, and I was just, one thought on my mind was to shoot the ball right away, and I shot it and went right in.
So he is the Summit League Player of the Week. We will check out all of those coming up later. Got women's soccer and volleyball coming up next.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health and your Heartland Chevy dealers.
Welcome back. Down to 1 week left in the regular season in women's soccer, and here are the highlights of the week. Start with Oral Roberts at Western Illinois on Friday. Daniela Salinas for Western Illinois. Ripping it off and then ripping it in, her first goal of the season. Sarah Hall had 2 goals for the Leathernecks, one in the first half, one in the second, and Western Illinois gets its second league win of the season. In Vermilion on Friday, South Dakota and South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits, get 3 goals in the first 25 minutes of the match, one by freshman Nicole Hatcher, one by Alyssa Brazel after a little misplay by the Coyote keeper, 6th goal of the year for Brazel, and one by Delaney Ratcliffe on a little chipper from the left side, and the Jackrabbits beat the Coyotes 3-1. Fort Wayne at Omaha on Friday, and there was 1 goal in the match. Anna Simpson in the second half off the rebound, and the Mavs stayed unbeaten in league play at the time with a 1-0 win. But Omaha did take its first league loss on Sunday against Oral Roberts. The Golden Eagles get a penalty shot on a goal in the 81st minute to tie it at 1-1. They go to double overtime, and Maria Stordahl with the game winner for Oral Roberts, 2-1, ORU in double overtime. The late match on Friday, Denver at North Dakota State, and not a whole lot going on until the 58th minute. Caitlin Higgins bends it in, Brooke Booth heads it home, and Denver gets a big road win there, 1-0 at North Dakota State. And then the Pioneers follow up with a win at home on Sunday against Fort Wayne. Mackenzie Bothner to Francesca Garzaloni. 3-0 is the final as Denver stays on top of the league standings. Well, Denver also leads the league in volleyball with 3 weeks left in the regular season. They had 1 match over the weekend, beat South Dakota State. Nola Basie going from the outside, 15 kills for her, 35 assists for Bailey Karst, and Denver sweeps the Jackrabbits in 3. IUPUI right behind Denver at the top of the standings. The Jaguars beat Fort Wayne on Friday. Vicious kill by Caitlin Hickey. She had 19 for the Jags, and they go 4 sets. IUPUI wins 3-1. The other team kind of separating in the top 3 is South Dakota. The Coyotes hosting Omaha on Sunday. 13 kills for Kendall Crittenbrink for South Dakota. Audrey Rieg playing very well for USD as well, and they win in 3, and the Coyotes are 8-2 now in league play. Player of the Week honors coming up next, including another blockbuster performance by a USD Coyote.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort and Dakota Land Honda. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Health and your Heartland Chevy dealers.
Here are your Summit League Players of the Week, starting in volleyball, and Samantha Fournier from Western Illinois recorded her first triple-double in a 3-1 win over Fort Wayne, 39 assists, 10 digs, and 10 kills in that match. On defense, Melissa Fertko, again from South Dakota, 7 blocks in a sweep of Omaha, and then had 5 blocks, 7 kills, and 3 aces in a loss at Oral Roberts. In women's soccer, on offense, Sarah Hall from Western Illinois scored 3 of the 4 goals for her team this week, including that game winner against Oral Roberts. Sam Harder from Denver on defense led a pair of shutouts against North Dakota State and Fort Wayne. And in men's soccer, on offense, you saw Mark Moulton of Omaha, 6-point week, 2 assists and a goal against Denver, and then he had the game winner against Bradley. And on defense, his teammate Nick Miller led him to a pair of victories on that back line and scored that goal in the win over Denver. Thanks to all of our member schools. We will see you next week on Inside the Summit League.